Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you can see the screen and hear us loud and clear. Okay, great. So I'm Jana Ayoub, and I would like to thank you all for attending today's webinar, Get More Done Easily with a Fully Integrated Solution. I would like to make a few announcements. First, kindly note that this session is being recorded and will be published on our YouTube channel. Second, the Q&A mode has been enabled, and you should be able to see a question icon on the bottom right corner when you drag the side menu bar. Feel free to type any question during Okay, so thank you all for participating. The agenda for today is as follows. First, my colleague Ms. Mary Lupisan, our SAP account executive, will be talking about who we are, followed by the solution presentation, which will be led by our pre-sales director, Mr. AJ Prasad. Then, Mr. Muhammad Zia, our SAP Business by Design lead, will be showing you the solution in action. And finally, we will have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. We are sure today's session will accelerate your business become an intelligent enterprise. And now, let me hand over to Ms. Mary Lupisan to take it forward.
Thank you, Jana. Good morning and welcome again, everyone. Before we dive into the presentation, I wanted to quickly share with you about Inflexion. We are a certified SAP Gold partner for MENA region with offices in UAE, Lebanon, Oman, and an offshore development center in India. We are in business for more than 13 years and have helped successfully deliver more than 160 projects. We were able to provide quality service to our growing 2,000 SAP licensed users through our family of about 100 plus experts, of which 95% are SAP certified with combined 750 years of SAP solution expertise. Our deep-rooted SAP relationship, being a value-added reseller and build partners with PCOE and recognized expertise of solutions and industry vertical, provides us with an ability to deliver focused SAP solutions, covering small, medium, and large enterprise, like the ERP solutions SAP S/4HANA, SAP Business by Design, SAP Business One, and SAP Customer Checkout for point of sales. While we also have SAP SuccessFactors, SAP Ariba, and SAP C/4HANA for the line of business. And finally, SAP Analytics and SAP Business Technology Platform. We help you become an intelligent enterprise. Our SAP recognized expertise in SAP Business One, SAP Business by Design, and consumer products highlights our commitment to customers. This designation recognizes the expertise and competencies to distinguish our capabilities from competitors in the market. The requirements include having a trained and certified individuals in a focus area or industry, and a track record of customer success and satisfaction. Our SAP certified and highly experienced team of consultants not only provide implementation and rollout services, but can also migrate and upgrade your existing solution. Our SAP PCOE certification ensures high quality of support, maintenance, and service levels, while our growth partnership allows us to develop specific customization and adoption for your business requirements. We can also help you extend and integrate our SAP or third-party systems. And with all these, we serve as your single window provider for your digital transformation journey. So that's about Inflection and its expertise in a snap. And now let me hand over to our pre-sales director, Mr. Ajay Prasad, to present the solution without further ado.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jenna, for the introduction. Good morning and welcome all to the webinar today. My role as pre-sales director at Inflection is to help you understand the solutions that we offer and how we are able to deliver a successful, intelligent enterprise and enable transformation for your organization. Today, we shall be talking about two solutions, which we hope to show you how fully integrated these two solutions are, which are offered by SAP, and provide you with the required intelligent enterprise as well as fully integrated solution to get your work done more easily. So let me start off with SAP Business by Design. SAP Business by Design, like with any, as in any business, you would require a good cloud ERP solution. So what does it mean to be a good cloud ERP solution? We at SAP have identified three main key pillars, which we believe is important and critical for your business. First is business transparency, where you are able to easily adapt the solution and make it nimble and agile for you to be able to run your organization and improve the data quality by bringing all the silos together in the form of your departments to work seamlessly. The next and most important aspect of the solution is end user acceptance. So for you to be able, for your end users to be able to accept the solution and perform the work easily is something which is primary, and also to reduce the workload and focus on decision-making capabilities and identify how you can serve your customers better is also a key challenge. Connecting business users as well as end users and increasing efficiency means that end user acceptance is one of the key aspects of an ERP solution in an organization. And finally, having a holistic approach wherein you run your IT operational costs at low end, keep the maintenance low, keep the system up and running, and most importantly, keep the environment secure and prevent your data from data privacy as well as hacks. So does SAP Business by Design answer all these three questions? Does it actually address these three pillars that we're talking about? Is what we hope to showcase in the next couple of slides, as well as during the presentation that we will be done with me and my colleague, Mr. Zia. So what is Business by Design? Business by Design is a true cloud-based solution, which is a fully integrated cloud suite with all the modules that you would require to run your business. As you can see, it's a suite in a box, which means that all end-to-end processes of your business can be managed and designed and delivered in one single solution. It is insightful in terms of having embedded analytics, helps you get all the KPIs, dashboards, and insights in your business to make the informed decisions. And it is built for growth where you can expand on multiple geographies or multiple industry verticals as well. It also has continuous innovation as SAP delivers quarterly updates and upgrades to your environment by default, bringing in new features, functionality, and enhancements. This takes me to the core of SAP Business by Design, which we refer to as the digital core, where all the modules are available to you as an organization to use and to enable. Starting with financials, we have budgeting, we have cost controlling, as well as cash flow and liquidity management aspects of it, covering the complete end-to-end finance scenarios, followed by supplier and procurement, where we complete the procure-to-pay cycle. And you can also have centralized supplier information, sourcing, and contracts management done as a shared service across your group of companies. If you have a group of companies or an individual company with multiple branches, it forms a single truth of procure-to-pay cycle. followed by project management for service-oriented companies, which would probably want to run their projects internally or externally, can be managed and tracked with the project management module, which is quite extensive and fully integrated with other aspects of business by design modules. Supply chain management, again, brings about for a product-centric or a manufacturing-centric company, including product engineering capabilities, which is built into the system with a quality control and quality assurance module as well available, with extensive warehouse and logistics module also being present in the system. Finally, but not the least, you have the customer relationship management, where you can start with marketing, generating your campaigns, targeting campaigns, and which leads to the lead generation and opportunity pipeline mapping. The whole sales cycle can be managed and monitored within the system without you having to go out. And then we can also continue with the order to cash process with the sales module and post-sales service with the service module. The service module also has field management services capabilities with mobile application available specifically for this particular purpose. Then we have human resource management, which is also a central aspect of your organization, where you can do onboarding, you can manage the organization management, have an organization chart, have reporting units defined very clearly. You can record your times as well as attendances, and you can do your self-service as well. Payroll, in some cases, is available for certain countries, which we can discuss further during a one-to-one interaction. SAP Business by Design, most importantly, is process driven, and thereby SAP, because of its vast history of successful project implementation, brings along 39 comprehensive pre-built end-to-end business scenarios, which can be used as is or tailored or adapted to your business requirements. And these business processes provide a good foundation for us to help you as a customer evolve in your business and ensure that you are working in a more standardized and approach which will help you with the organization. Now, coming to the embedded analytics, where we are talking about insightfulness, you will find that SAP Business by Design has built-in analytics simply because it runs on the SAP HANA platform. And the SAP HANA platform is essentially an in-memory database, which gives you the analytical models built into the solution. So thereby allowing you to have KPIs, key performance indicators, which are pre-built into the system, and you can design and add more KPIs than what is available, which comes out of the box. You also have report cards, which allow you to be able to analyze further in order to slice and dice the information. We hope to show you that in the presentation and a demo as well. And also the report and analysis pattern of the reporting capabilities can be suited to your environment. You can collaborate with internal and external colleagues as well with this particular environment. And you have data sources as well, which are exposed, which can be used by other third-party systems, as well as within an extension of SAP Analytics Cloud, which brings us to the other product from SAP, which is purely designed for business intelligence and augmented analytics. Here with SAP Analytics Cloud, seamlessly gets integrated with Business by Design to enhance the reporting and business intelligence functionality, and also primarily the planning functionality as well. It also gives you advanced visualization and data visualization and personalization modes, along with predictive and insights that the system can offer. Finally, we come to the last part of the features from Business by Design, where in today's world, due to the corona effect, which cannot be forgotten, we also have to enable our staff and our colleagues to work from home if required, or for people who are always on the move. So Business by Design natively is available on mobile devices with the native apps that can be downloaded from the respective app stores, or you can access the complete Business by Design system on a browser, on a tablet, simply because it is built on the standard UI5 technology, which allows for a responsive user interface, and you can do your full functioning sitting at home or anywhere on the move. Again, these are apps that are extended for specific purposes like expense reporting, like approvals, as well as looking at various statistics and KPIs for high-level management people as well. So one of the pillars that we spoke about is a holistic approach from an IT perspective. So this slide talks about how SAP Business by Design, being a pure cloud solution hosted and managed by SAP, gives you that peace of mind and the security that you're looking for. The data storage is double encrypted with AES 256 encryptions, and also the data is SOC 2 compliant, and these global audits and improvements are always done on a regular basis to keep the compliance up and running. The application and database itself is a multi-tenant architecture, thereby allowing you to have your own individual tenant, although you're on a shared farm, and thereby not allowing your data to be shared across multiple other organizations which are using the cloud facility. The data center facilities themselves are tier 3 plus facilities, which are the highest standard of data center facilities that a private sector can provide, right from bulletproof walls to biometric access devices and scheduled audits happening on a physical level as well. You can be rest assured that your data is very secure. From a network perspective, in order to avoid hacks and scans, you have all the required security mechanisms in place and supported by a large amount of staff who are able to support and monitor these processes. The data is encrypted when it flows from your workstations to the server, thereby ensuring a complete privacy of data transfer end to end. And then finally, from a regulatory perspective, it is GDPR compliant, so you can be safe and sound, making sure that you are compliant with the rest of the world. This brings me to the next solution that we are going to showcase or talk about today, and especially meant for the retail sector, which is called as SAP Customer Checkout. This is a point of sale system from SAP itself, and it is fully integrated with SAP Business by Design, and we will be able to showcase the same today during our presentation. SAP Customer Checkout, as I mentioned, is a point of sale system tailored for your needs, and it supports both the retail, quick service, as well as table service modes. And this allows you to have a variety of point of sale systems deployed in a single aspect. So you imagine you are running an organization which has multiple lines of business, where you have retail outlets as well as food and beverage outlets, which could be quick service or table service. The same customer checkout can be deployed and be adapted and can be integrated in the system by default. SAP Customer Checkout provides all the functionality that you would require in a point of sale system, starting from checkout, where a customer is able to offer discounts, is able to offer personalized fan profiles, is able to select a customer, or it could be an individual who's doing multiple purchases, or as we term it in the industry, one-time customer. And then we can also maintain customer profiles, and along with these customer profiles, you can also maintain corporate customers and thereby allow even payment terms at the point of sale as well. This again is synchronized seamlessly backend into SAP Business by Design. Articles or products can be managed, and also you can use the help of barcode to be able to support the various activities that happen at the store level. Payments mode can be multiple in nature. You could have only cash, you could have a hybrid of cash and credit card, gift vouchers, or payment vouchers as well. And you can also accept multiple currencies, which is today a norm in today's industry. From day-end closing, which allows your cash collectors to be able to produce the day-end closing and then submit the cash at the treasury, can also be managed within the system. And then it also has a facility to record attendance for employees who come in at the outlet, and you can record their attendance as well by using the time recording functionality. Keeping in mind that SAP Customer Checkout is deployed at the retail outlets, it works on an offline mode as well. And in order for us to be able to manage the communication and manage the deployment of multiple customer checkouts that could happen, where the scenario could be you have multiple terminals in an individual store, and you could have multiple stores spread across various geographies. SAP also provides SAP Customer Checkout Manager, which is again a module which is deployed centrally, where it allows you to handle several organizational units, manage all the receipts that are posted centrally, and then passed on to the backend ERP system like SAP Business by Design in today's case. It also helps in tracking the time recording of employees, where you can manage and monitor all these at a centralized location in terms of reporting. It also allows you to be able to manage loyalty management, where you will be able to define loyalty programs, loyalty rules, and then monitor how the points are being redeemed and being accumulated for each of the customers as well. Also, in a standalone mode, SAP Customer Checkout allows for master data creation and management and synchronization settings between the point of sale as well as the backend ERP system. You can also manage central vouchers and customer management using SAP Customer Checkout Manager. And you can also overview all the drawer contents, which is about the physical drawers where the cash is maintained in SAP Customer Checkout. So SAP Customer Checkout Manager is a centralized application which comes along with SAP Customer Checkout, which runs on your point of sale terminals. So for today, we have designed a demo which will take you through the order to cash cycle, and then we will also be able to show you the procure to pay cycle along with some of the intelligent functionality that the system has, including planning in terms of the material requirement planning that can be done in the SAP Business by Design system as well. So as we say, as the title of the event is Get More Things Done Easily with a fully integrated solution, you can see SAP Customer Checkout has been integrated with SAP Business by Design for the major three aspects of any retail organization, starting with essentially the articles, the management of customers, as well as financial and goods management as well. So when a sale is done at customer checkout, you will find that the sale reflects into SAP Business by Design. Also, the stock is reduced, and also an invoice is generated, and the payment receipts are also applied onto SAP Customer Checkout by default. And during all this process, all the master data synchronization between SAP Business by Design and SAP Customer Checkout also happens seamlessly in the solution. So essentially, if you define a master data, define the item, you create a new item or create a new article in Business by Design, give it a price, and you create an offer, or you create an offer or a discount, you can then apply that seamlessly onto all the customer checkout terminals from a central point, which will all get pushed directly from SAP Business by Design, thereby helping you get bidirectional support between both the solutions. So this brings me to the end of the presentation. Feel free to ask any questions related to the same. And before we move on to the actual product demonstration itself, we have a small survey that we would like to run for you to be able to participate and be able to engage as well. So let me quickly run the survey for you. Just give me a moment while I get to the survey. So I believe the survey is on, and we see people answering the survey, which is quite refreshing. And while we are having people answering the survey, we feel free to type your questions in the Q&A mode. You can find a question mark icon where you can type your questions, and we will be more than happy to answer them for you. Great. So we guess we have everybody who has voted. Let us see the results. Thank you. We would like to thank you for participating in the survey. And now we will switch over to my colleague Dia, who will be helping me with the presentation for the day. I hope you are able to see the screen. And The first aspect of today's presentation or demo would be SAP Customer Checkout. So what you see on your screen is the login for SAP Customer Checkout, and we will be using this particular login where you can have multiple roles also which can be authorized or taken care of as far as customer checkout is concerned. So you can have an admin, you can have a cashier, and you can have a store manager as well, where the roles are defined and managed within SAP Customer Checkout Manager as well to give the required permissions. So now Dia is going to log into the system, and today we will be using the admin login just to ensure that we are able to run the demo smoothly. And the first thing that you see is essentially the SAP Customer Checkout retail mode, and we will be doing two invoices in order for us to be able to see how the customer checkout works with SAP Business by Design seamlessly. So the first one is we will select a customer who is actually defined in the system, and we can do so by doing a search. And here you can see that we are selecting a customer from GEMS Education, and we will now scan some articles. So now you have seen that we have scanned 3 articles or 3 products, and in total we have about 4 quantities as well. So you can see that the total is coming up, and now as with any retail operation, we would like to collect the payment, and in order for us to do that, we have the choice of selecting the exact amount if it is going to be cash, and you can also see the denomination of the notes are already configured, and this again can be configured based on the currency that we are using. We can replace these images as well with the actual currency images, and in our case we will now be doing a cash transaction. And as you can see here, we have the option of a mixed mode where we can either collect in cash or we can collect in card. And again, what the cards that you see here are pre-configured. We can always add n number of cards here again and configure it in the backend so that it is easy for us to manage the payments and reconciliation once the payments are done. So we'll go ahead now and do a mixed mode where we will collect cash as well as partially in card as well. So we are collecting about $100 US by card and using American Express. And then you can see that we are collecting the balance in cash just to show you the capability of mixed mode. And now that once the cash and card has been selected, you can see what we will do now is essentially go in and do another transaction. And this time we will essentially do a one-time customer sale or without a customer. So as you're probably aware, when you have people who walk into the store and who basically buy, they are called as one-time customers. So here you will notice that we are not selecting the customer, but doing a direct sale. And in this particular case, case, we will actually do a complete credit card transaction just for the sake of an example. SAP Customer Checkout has additional capabilities in terms of being able to return management as well. And in the real world, it will actually open the cash till, and it will also print the receipt. And these again can be configured to meet the requirements which are dictated by statutory needs. And also you can, as you can see, the screen can be customized to have a quick service as well, and also the option to do voucher based sales or gift vouchers, and also in the backend the loyalty programs can be configured as well. Now that we have done the sale, we will now see how this sale is reflecting back in SAP Business by Design. And now my colleague has changed his screen to SAP Business by Design, and we will be logging in as a financial clerk who is actually monitoring the activities of the stores and what exactly is happening in the activities of the stores. So as you can see on my launch pad, I have a launch pad, which is the welcome screen of Business by Design. And this screen can be adapted or customized by just going in over here and clicking on the personalization mode, where I will be able to add a new group or add a new KPI in order for us to be able to do add any KPI on the system. So for example, if I'm looking at net order volume and something of interest to me, I can apply here, and I've just added a new KPI, and I can actually save these changes, which means that the next time I log in, these changes are saved and are always available for me to use as well. Now, in our case, the account receivable clerk is essentially monitoring the activities that are happening at the store level. And you can see we have a KPI which talks about net order volume. And you can see that it was refreshed 53 minutes ago. Now let's go ahead and refresh this particular screen, and you will find that there is a change in the numbers simply because of the two transactions that we did. So once I click on this particular KPI, this is where embedded analytics of Business by Design kicks in, and we are able to see the key performance indicators, and the thresholds that are maintained here are again adapted based on your needs and requirements when we do the implementation. So you can also see the current amount, you can see the thresholds which are being mentioned, and you can also have a reference value. All of these can be configured to meet your requirements and can be adapted to meet your requirements. As you can see, I have a tabular view of what has happened, and you can see that we have GEMS education and one-time customer here, and then you can also notice the sale that has happened. I can also go into a graphical mode in order for me to be able to see a graphical mode as well. And let me switch back to the tabular mode, and then I can look at I have different views where I can see the same report in different views as well. Now let us see the beauty of the product, where we dive into what we call as embedded analytics, where we are going to slice and dice the information. And essentially, in other systems, you would require a business intelligence tool in order for us to be able to do this. And as you are aware, a business intelligence tool is an additional software which needs to be deployed. We then need to create different cubes, then create reports or visualizations on top of that, and be able to do the data extraction and loading, which is all cumbersome. But here with Business by Design, due to the SAP HANA database at the back end and the SAP HANA platform on which the SAP Business by Design is running, all of this is combined into one single platform, seamlessly giving you the insight, right? So we are looking at what reports are available, and from here I can see the transactions that have happened in today. I also have the option of choosing the currency in which I would like to see what has happened. And now you will notice that I have GEMS education and one-time customer out here. Now let me show you what I mean by slicing and dicing of this information. So if in case I want to know from which store location this particular sale happened, I have the ability to select the site or the branch or the retail outlet where this happened. And if in case I also want to see the external system ID or the actual terminal where this particular sale happened, I can also select that as one of the key fields. And when I press OK, you will notice that automatically it is showing me the two new fields that have been added. If in case I want to group them by the site, because as I mentioned, I could have one store which is having multiple point of sale terminals. All I need to do is just drag and drop the site, and you can see the grouping has changed. And if in case I do not want to see the IDs and just the descriptions, I can click here and do so, and you will see that it automatically changes and gives me only the descriptions of the process where it has happened. Furthermore, if in case I want to analyze this particular transaction that we just did, I can also click on the one-time customer over here, and it gives me the ability to drill down as well. So where I can click on go to and view the sales transaction. Here you can see that it has taken me to where the sales transaction has occurred, and I can get into a summary view. And if in case I want to go into the details, I can click on view all, and it shows me the details of the transaction that has just happened on customer checkout. So here you can see the sales items. You can notice the items that we sold, the quantity that we sold, the net amount and the gross amount as well, including the tax figures. You can also see the tax items which were there. So one of them was taxable. And if I go into the document flow, here you will be able to see the complete transaction flow of what has happened in the system. So starting with the point of sale sales order, going into a sales invoice, and then goods being reduced from stock, and then the payment order where the receipt is being reconciled against this particular invoice. Now, although we just did a sale in customer checkout, you can see the backend activity that it has automatically updated in the system. This is what we mean, and this is the feature of today's webinar where we say get things done easily. So you don't actually have to worry about synchronization, you don't have to worry about real-time data, you don't have to worry about any of those, but focus on business and customer satisfaction, which is the key point in today's business. Now further, if I want to drill down and look at the general vouchers, I can do so by clicking here, and you can see the voucher, the journal entry that has happened in order for the stock to be consumed and sold as well. And similarly, I can also see the sales transaction journal voucher entry that has happened over here as well. So you can see that the required transactions have taken place, and you can also see the VAT capability where the taxes are also accounted for. So this is as simple, and this is how the accounts receivable clerk can monitor and manage all his transactions. At the same time, you can drill down any aspect of it, and in this particular case, we are going to drill down and look at the accounts overview of this particular customer. Now, as you can see over here, in this one single screen, I get a 360-degree view of what is happening with the customer, again giving me total insight into his operations as well as what is happening. So you can also see the sales history, you can see the activities, you can see the marketing campaigns, and you can see how seamlessly the service module from CRM is also interfaced in this particular place. You can also see all the financial details of this particular customer here, with also knowing what are the open terms and what are the sales transactions as well. So now that we have established the sale has happened and seamlessly transferred into the backend ERP system, you now can be rest assured that the sale or the order to cash process has been completed successfully. And as part of the plan for today's demo, we shall be now switching in and showing you how the procure to pay cycle in Business by Design is, and how seamlessly and easy it is to work with it. We are now logging in as a purchase and a planning clerk, although this could be two different roles typically in an organization. In this case, we are going to show them both in a single login in the interest of time. So you can see here again, this is a different view. And when we expand on the menu, you can see that he has different roles and authorizations as well. And we have a lot of quick menus in terms of the history, where you can see what are the most recent histories that were done, what is frequently used. And you can also have flags. You can also have favorites over here of the transactions, and you can also tag your transactions. This is what we talk about in terms of easy acceptance or end user acceptance, where the performance or the efficiency increases because it is simple to use and very intuitive to use as well. So let us start. The first thing that we would ideally like to do is do an MRP, or a material requirement planning, in order for us to be able to plan. So for us to be able to plan, we will then check the product planning details, which will have, for which we start with each product. And you can see that from an available to promise, you can see that there is no availability of the stock. That is indicated by a red button. So let's do the planning for this particular product. So we click on the open planning, and you can notice the deficiency that is there. and you can also notice the quantities that are there and the projected stock which is required. So business by design has taken into consideration the sale that has happened, and based on the demand, it is now proposing that you buy 250 quantities of this particular item in order to be able to fulfill your demand in the upcoming days. Again, because of the sale that happened and the stock that was reduced, which gets seamlessly integrated, you are able to identify the areas where you have pain the most in terms of keeping light inventory and making sure that you have just-in-time inventory as well with SAP Business by Design. So the next step would be to run the MRP, where we will run an MRP by clicking so. So the outcome of the MRP is a purchase proposal. Again, it could be a purchase proposal or it could be a purchase order. This again is something which is configurable. In this particular case, we are going to do a purchase proposal. So we'll go ahead and release this purchase proposal from a planning perspective. Now you can see that the system has generated a manual purchase request based on the purchase proposal as well. So we can go ahead and save this and move to the purchase requisition from a purchasing perspective or from a purchasing department aspect. Now, when we go to the purchase request, you will find the purchase request which we generated using the MRP is available here for us to process. Now, SAP Business by Design has the capability of enabling approval workflows as well, but we have not enabled any approval workflows in today's session, but it definitely has multiple ways of doing the approval workflow. So we can now go ahead and select and create a purchase order. And you will notice that Business by Design automatically identifies the supplier, and you always have the option of changing the supplier. And all the information has seamlessly now flown into the purchase order as well. We can get a quick preview of the purchase order. Look at how the print layout looks. This is something that we adapt and customize during our implementation process. This is a standard purchase order screen, and you can notice that there is a watermark to say that this is a test copy or a draft. The watermark can be changed. So I believe we get the idea of how the print layout looks, and then we'll go ahead now with creating the purchase order itself. Now we click and create the purchase order, and this purchase order gets confirmed, and it can be designed to send by email to the supplier. Between the purchase order and receiving of the goods, there could be multiple steps that can be configured based on your business requirements. In our demo today, we will directly go into receiving the goods. Otherwise, there is a step of acknowledging the product as well. So now we can go into inbound logistics. Ideally, this would be done by a logistics clerk, but we are going to use the same login to do the inbound logistics. You can find that now the purchase order, open purchase order, is automatically shown here, and we can then now post a goods receipt for this purchase order. Once you click on post goods receipt, you can find that it automatically brings in all the details. And also Business by Design has the capability to generate labels which can be printed using your printers and stuck onto the goods that we are receiving. And also we are going to propose the quantities that we are receiving. In this particular case, we will assume that we are getting all the quantity rather than partial quantity, but the system has the capability of managing it. And here we put in a reference ID as well for the delivery note that the supplier has given. You can always have the option of scanning and attaching the delivery note as well as proof which you have received. Again, Business by Design at this moment of time does not restrict the amount of data that you can upload. So you can upload multiple files and different types of files for your reference. So now that we have got the goods inward, so the next logical step would be for us to create an invoice for the supplier. Now here we would like to showcase SAP Business by Design and how it is an intelligent enterprise, where we are going to talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence. So ideally, when a supplier gives you an invoice, what ideally you would do is use a scanning machine and scan the supplier invoice and store it in a scanned folder. Okay. Once that is done, you can see that it is showing us now we are actually in the Windows Explorer mode, where you are able to see the invoice which has been scanned successfully. And you can see that the invoice, once it has been scanned, will get uploaded into a folder, and it will show you the folder. The moment I do the scan, you will see that it automatically has moved it into the upload success folder. And if we go and enter the upload success folder, you can see the invoice that was scanned is already available here. Okay. And now when we switch back to business by design, you will notice that when I go into the invoicing aspect as a invoicing clerk or a accounts payable clerk, you will notice that when I log in as an accounts payable clerk and when I go into invoicing scanning application, you will find that the scanning process has been completed successfully. And when I go and review, you will find that SAP Business by Design, with the help of machine learning, has actually scanned the invoice and has incorporated all the details from the preview automatically into creating an invoice. So you can see all this data has been automatically filled because the system is intelligent enough to scan the invoice in any format that you give and accept all the data. And you can also see the scanned amount is shown here. And if in case any correction needs to be done, we can do that as well, if in case there is any kind of a mistake that was performed. Now we can go ahead and post this as an invoice in the system. And also notice that when we click on post invoice, you can find that automatically everything is pre-populated, and we select the gross amount as posting for the invoice. And you can also see that the attachment of the invoice is also saved in the system by default because it is scanned and uploaded as well. We shall go ahead and look at view all screen. And you can see the original document. You can see all the data filled, and you can also see the original document that was scanned. Now there are multiple steps that was automatically performed by the system because of the machine learning capabilities that are built into SAP Business by Design, and makes the life of the clerk much easier, as well as reduces a whole lot of human errors that could be encountered. We can close this process by hitting on the post button, and an invoice is now created automatically in the system. We can actually go ahead and look at the document flow just to make sure that, see, the complete process has been completed. Now we clicking on the invoice, the accounts payable invoice. When we go into view all and we go into the document flow, you can see the whole process of the document from a purchase order, inbound delivery to supplier invoice. And this is a standard view. When we go on to the extended view, you can see all the details that are taken place in terms of the purchase request planning, the purchase request, the purchase order, the inbound delivery, the supplier invoice as well. So this brings us to the end of our demo today and presentation. And we are happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you all for your attention and time. So we have a question here from one of the attendees, which says, what about hospitals? Can it be used in hospitals? Yes, Business by Design can be used in hospitals for the back-end functioning in terms of finance, in terms of procurement, in terms of inventory management, as well as CRM functionality. And we can integrate SAP Business by Design with your front-end medical system, or what you would call as a medical information system as well. And all of this information can be seamlessly integrated at the back with SAP Business by Design. SAP Business by Design, as I mentioned, is open for integration. So the answer is yes, you can use it in a medical center as well. There is another question which talks about how much is business by design and is it online. So about the price, there are two aspects to the price. One is the subscription cost of SAP Business by Design, which is purely based on the number of users, and this is something that we can reach out to you and answer on a one-to-one basis based on a discovery call. And then, is it online? Yes, it is truly online. Everything is managed, stored, and hosted by SAP themselves. All you require is an internet connection with a browser functionality as well. So I think we have another question. So I can add a company. Yes, you can add a company as well. Business by Design does not restrict you based on the number of companies. In fact, Business by Design is designed for group level companies where you can have a holding company or multiple holding companies, and you can under each of those holding companies have multiple companies as well across multiple geographies in a single tenant. Can be also managed with Business by Design. There is another question here saying, now if I have cash and Visa and company, yes, you can do that as well, Mr. Muhammad. If we choose a customer and when we go into payment modes of SAP Customer Checkout, we can actually select credit, we can select card, and we can select Visa as well. And accordingly, the postings will get synced in Business by Design, and you will be able to get a receivable statement which you can follow up with your customer if in case credit is allowed. There is another question. How well are the recipes managed for F&B business? Recipes can be managed well as well in Business by Design. SAP Business by Design has the concept of kit or bill of material, which we use for recipe management. It is something that we can explore for the food and beverage industry as well. We have another question saying intercompany transactions are recorded end to end. Yes, sir. This is the beauty of SAP Business by Design. Intercompany transactions are recorded automatically. So if in case you're interacting between two companies which belong to you, if you are issuing a purchase order to your other company, then it automatically becomes a sales order in their organization. And subsequently, when they make a delivery, it will reflect as a goods receipt in your organization. And this is not only for sales and purchase, but also intercompany resource and project management as well can be used. I hope I have answered all the questions. What about hospital? It's more than this. So can we add a new department? Yes, sir. So essentially, the organization structure in Business by Design allows you to have a complex organization structure where you can have branches, you can have multiple departments under a branch, under a company, and you can have multiple companies under one single holding company as well. If we want to store part only or finance, is it possible? Yes, sir. It is possible to have only the financial module enabled as well, or only the financial and purchase module enabled as well. So this is something that is configurable. Although you get complete access to the product based on the implementation, based on your requirements, we can then enable or configure the actual modules. In consolidation, the cost is calculated. Yes, sir. The cost is calculated in consolidation as well, in terms of being able to do it. So whenever intercompany transactions are happening, the costs are also allocated automatically, and journal entries are also passed automatically onto those books of accounts. And also it takes into consideration the fact that your companies could be in two different geographies and using two different currencies as well. Very interesting questions, and we thank you for your questions. Do we have any more questions that we can answer before we end the session? Our colleagues will reach out to you as well in order to have a one-to-one session to answer the online questions, answer any questions that you have in person. If we need a webinar concerning the cost of the production, what is the price of the software? Okay. Yes, we can organize. There is a production webinar as well that we have planned during the course of the year. We will definitely invite you for the same. And we can also have a one-to-one demo of the production module and capabilities of Business by Design. We have another question which talks about price. Again, sir, the price of the software is subscription based. It's on annual subscription and based on the named user licenses. The prices vary based on the type of users, and we will be able to share the pricing with you in person when we get in touch. Our sales team will be able to reach out to you as well in order to help you understand the costing of the solution. Can you provide a PDF version of the presentation for us to showcase to our clients as your partners? Definitely, we can have that discussion. Our team will get in touch with you, and we have a referral mode as well. And the sales team will get in touch with you, and we can do that as well. So our marketing team says we have two more minutes before we conclude the session. Please feel free to ask any other questions that you might have. Thank you, Mr. Abdul Rahman, as well. Thank you, Mr. Hussain. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Thank you, Mr. Asad. And I believe we have run out of questions. Our sales team and people who have invited you will be more than happy to answer any questions in person. They will get in touch with you as well. And we shall be also sharing and uploading this webinar on our YouTube channel. We will share the resources as soon as it is done. Thank you all for attending the event and really appreciate your time as well. Thank you.